This is a very difficult film to analyze. It's hard to dig conspiracies out of it. However, I noticed something abnormal when watching it. I noticed how Charles Muntz is constantly lying. He claims he hung out with President Roosevelt, but he'd have had to have been a child at that time. He claims how he's never gone back to America since he last went to Paradise Falls, yet he has a ton of dogs. There are 0 female dogs, so how exactly would dogs reproduce over several decades? These are only a couple of lies he says of many, but I believe that his lack of knowledge about quite literally himself proves he isn't the real Charles Muntz. Mind blown. He talks about intruders and whatnot, but I think that this old man himself was an intruder that killed Charles Muntz. Let's do a visual gene analysis. Their ears are similar, but earlobes are different. Their chin clefts are different. The mustache is easy to copy. The eyebrows are different. The facial structure is different. But the 3 big things are the eye color, hair color, and handedness. They're both left-handed, but as far as colors go, it's difficult to know when there are no colors. So it's hard to tell. Either it's a lying imposter after the bird, or it's a delusional and psychotic Charles Muntz who knows nothing about himself. But the deciding factors for me were his voice and clothing. They are the exact same while he's both young and old. Mainly, of course, the voice. There is still a chance that it's an imposter, but for now we'll focus on why he'd be lying. Perhaps he's testing Carl and Russell to see if they're really after his bird. After all, after Carl states how he is a massive fan, Muntz uses it against him and talks about himself being a big shot, thus lying about being with the president. I also guarantee that he did return to America, for there is no way he could have bred dogs if he stayed in specifically the desolate area of Paradise Falls without any female dogs. But why lie about this? Well, to as I already said, act like a big shot by claiming he honored his word of not returning until he found the bird. After Carl told Charles he had been a huge fan, Charles was lying to gain knowledge about if Carl was after his bird, by exaggerating his accomplishments, thus lulling Carl into a nostalgic trap of to what he had hoped to be Carl revealing about how he'd come to steal the bird. Rewind that if you need to, and ingrain it in your brain. Charles was lying to find out if Carl was after the bird. So what do you think? Is Charles Muntz lying, or is it an imposter? Genetics point to one and lore points to the other. Which do you think? Until next time, I'm the Theorizer. I need requests if you want me to analyze something else. Just comment. I'll probably consider it.